What's up, movers? This is Lacey. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining me here today. We are going to have an interesting conversation, that's for sure. But before we get started in today's topic of intention and what exactly it is, I would like to start off the episode with two things that truly ground me and fill me with joy. And those two things are gratitude and my power statements. And so gratitude, I want you to think about a few things, maybe 2-3 things, people, circumstances, that you feel truly grateful for. It doesn't have to be in the moment, it can be a future thing as well. This is using gratitude in the future, and this can be super powerful as well. So if you envision a job, a place, a person that you want to be, envision that and give gratitude to it, no matter if you are at that point in your life yet or not, because everything that's destined to come, you're going to pull it towards you with that energy. Okay, so I want you to think of your 3 things for the first thing that we're going to kick off doing. And the second thing that I want you to do is think of a power statement. And this is always gonna start with I am. Something that I've been practicing and that I feel is really powerful is using the statement I am followed by something that I would like to be. It's all about state of being. Who am I becoming? Who do I want to become? The person that I am is fill in the blank. It can be whatever you want. This can change as much as it needs to change or as much as you feel you want it to change. But for example, I am healthy. Simple as that. And my action statement, which will help me during the day make good decisions that align with the person that I say that I am, that I strive to be, that I'm working on becoming, would be I make healthy decisions that align with the person that I would like to become. I look at food as fuel, personally for me, which is a stretch from what it used to be years ago. So you can make up any power statement that you want, followed by a statement that really backs you up when it comes to your decision making. So go ahead and choose those 3 things that you're grateful for. It could be anything, anyone, circumstance, whatever comes to mind, and then think of your power statement and your I am statement. So I'm gonna give you guys a second. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to really reflect on these 2 elements, these 2 things that we're putting into the podcast. Inhale here. Be with your thoughts, reflect on your thoughts, think about everything. Say them aloud. If it helps you, say them aloud. It doesn't matter who's listening, say them aloud. And if you're not comfortable saying them aloud, then that's the reflection right there. You can stop and you can use that however you want. But say them out loud, write them down, get into it. Don't rob yourself of the opportunity to be coming from love. That's what this is all about. And for me today, 3 things I'm grateful for is 1, my family and my friends, because they support me no matter where I am in the world. And in this moment, I find myself in Spain, but in the next, I might be going somewhere different, and everything is unknown, but I know no matter where I go and no matter what I do, I have their love and support, and that means more than I can ever communicate to them. Number 2 would be my health. I think if our health is one of the most important things that we can have in our life, and it's a daily task. It's a daily thing that we have to work at. Me speaking specifically to myself, I have to work every single day at it, just like I know a lot of other people do too. And if it's not everyday movement, it's everyday mental for sure. And it's also everyday scheduling and everyday being graceful and everyday coming from love, not beating ourselves up. And so I'm grateful to have crossed the bridge and to be coming from love no matter what I feel like, no matter what my mood is, no matter how my tummy feels, because you guys know hot girls have tummy issues. That happens. It happens. But we have to be accepting. We have to be loving. We can't be frustrated and beat ourselves up. It only makes the cycle worsen. Number 3 that I'm grateful for today, I'm grateful to be here on this podcast. I'm grateful to have this line of connection, to be able to speak to you guys and everyone all around the world. This is really important to me, and I hope that you'll be here for the journey and that we can share connection and expand together. My power statement today, I'm going to go with the health. I am healthy, and I make healthy decisions that align with the person, the strong person, physically, mentally, that I want to be. So we're going to dive into today's episode now. Thank you guys all for tuning in and joining me. What we're going to get into today, if you're looking to understand a little bit more about intention, this is going to be the episode for you, because lucky enough, my project, my brand, my baby is called Move with Intention. If you're here on video, you can see my cute little flag that I got from Snapfish. Shout out. Thank you guys so much. This is Move with Intention, and it came to me a couple of years ago, and I'm going to give you guys the background of where this name came from for me, and we're also going to talk about intention and how we can use intention in our lives to move forward into the people that we want to be. So starting off with my branding, Move with Intention. You might think, okay, Move with Intention, Lacey teaches movement classes, she does Zumba, dance, kickboxing, stretching, mobility, that must be what it's all about. And no, that was initially what it was all about. And it was really cool, just this year actually, that I realized it was so much bigger than that. I had no idea. It's funny how when you follow your heart, and sometimes it doesn't feel like you're following your heart, but you follow your gut, your intuition, whatever it is. It's not always your mind that's directing you in certain locations and in certain spots. But I followed my intuition and I started creating movements that were intentional. Because, I came from a past of using movement as punishment. And so being able to change my perspective entirely of movement as a punishment, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. If you can, listen up, because it's totally possible. You can come from a place of punishment, which is a low frequency vibe. And frequency is what you frequently see, as stated. And so if we are frequently looking at movement as a punishment, we're never going to expand. We're never going to appreciate the process. And when we get to where we want to get, because eventually you might get to where you want to get, you're not going to feel the love, the pride, the peace inside. It's never going to be good enough. And so coming from a place of punishment, which is a low vibe, is completely the contrary of coming from peace and acceptance. And so that's the bridge that I have recently crossed in the last, maybe 4 or 5 years. And the journey has been ups and downs. I can't tell you that it's all rainbows and sunshines, because it's not. But I feel like I've learned so much about me as a person, about movement. I've become so grateful for movement, and I see movement in my future and in the future of so many people, shaping, changing, connecting, bringing people together, bringing ourselves together with ourselves, if that makes sense. It's interconnectedness, but on every single possible level, and it's inspiring. And so coming from a place of punishment, where I'm now at a place of acceptance, I don't move my body every single day. And I would be lying if I said that I did, because I realized recovery is almost more, if not more important than that movement we give our body. And I never made time for it, because in my mind, rest, recovery meant I was lazy. And my name is Lacey, not lazy. And I used to get that a lot. And so there would never be a possibility that someone could call me lazy and get justification for that. So I was constantly, every single day, without fail, working out, training, killing myself to an extent at some points in my life. And I realized, this is not working. This is not working. What's my intention with all these workouts? And I knew in my head, maybe anyone else can resonate, my intention, and a lot of people's intention, is to get thin, to be skinny, to lose weight, to change my appearance. This was an outside, external situation, external factor. It wasn't inside. It wasn't my mentality. It wasn't my perspective. However, my decisions and how I acted regarding the word fitness and movement and training affected ultimately my internal self, and the way I made decisions, the way that I processed thoughts, what I said to myself out loud or inside of my own head. And that plays a huge role of who you are as a person and the person that you are becoming. And so flipping the switch and accepting the person that I was, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of the above, and learning to love the person that I was. I think when we come from a place of love, we can expand and we can see so many different possibilities. It's like wearing a pair of glasses. Specifically, these glasses, if you can see me right now, it's like wearing a pair of glasses. And you have your glasses on, and you can see right in front of you. You can turn your head, you can see to the side, you can turn your head to the other side, but you might not be seeing all the possibilities. But just know that there are constantly possibilities surrounding you at any given moment of time. The only thing is, these lenses haven't been cleaned in a while, and these lenses are from a certain store. You know what I mean? Like these are only lenses for one level or one chapter of my life. And so I may take a cloth at one point and I might clean off the lenses, because damn, there's some little fingerprints on there and I can't really see anything. So I clean them off and I'm like, whoa, well, I didn't see that over there before, but now I see it. And it's like I switch the lenses, I clean the lenses, I declutter, I make space, because it starts a lot of times with making space. It's not always adding to, it's taken away. It's making space so that new things, new possibilities, new opportunities can come into our lives. And so changing your lens is changing your perspective. And when you do that, possibilities open, but beyond belief. And you can create absolutely anything, and I mean absolutely anything that you can imagine. And so Move With Intention for me started, I believe during the pandemic, because I found myself stuck in Alicante, Spain during the pandemic, and that's a whole nother story which we'll get to because I want to focus on intention today, and I want to talk about where this name came from for me and what it means to me and what I hope that it can mean for you. But I find myself working out every single day to stay sane, basically, essentially, and putting my body through a lot, whether it was HIIT workouts, whether it was lifting weights. This was beforehand, of course. During the pandemic, I was in a little apartment like this, no weights except for maybe some water bottles, but still doing strenuous stuff on my body all throughout college, all throughout my career of working as a teacher in Italy before moving to Spain, all throughout teaching in South Carolina as a fitness instructor and getting as much experience and certifications that I possibly could. I killed myself. And how could I ever expect for my body to give back to me when I never gave to it what it wanted and what it was saying to me? It's like our bodies can speak. Our bodies have a voice, and we need to stop, reflect, tune in to the own station that is ours. If we were radios, we all have a station. Tune into yourself. Don't look externally for opportunities and things to tell you, you should do this. You ought to be doing that. Why aren't you like this? No. When you stop and you make space, and the space is silent enough for you to tune in to yourself, to your body, the body knows what's going on. The body knows what you need, what you don't need. And if you stop and you make decisions, I'm listening to a podcast right now. I can link it in the bio. I can link it in the notes. This podcast, the woman, she was speaking and she said, full body yes. I love this. This is amazing. I just had a conversation with a friend here. Full body yes. If my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit, my energy, whatever it is, if it's not all in alignment, when I'm asked to do something or an opportunity comes up or I have to make a decision, then I'll essentially, if I stop and reflect, it's a no. It's a no, and that's just respecting ourselves. It's respecting the energy. It's respecting what our body is saying to us, because you might get an opportunity that comes to you and you think to yourself, your mind says, this is gonna make me a bunch of money, or that person is gonna have such an influence, it's gonna lift me up and I'm gonna go running with them. We're gonna take off. However, your heart might be like, I'm not excited about this though. Your body's like, I'm fatigued already. Like, you just have to stop and reflect and pinpoint what are all of the feelings and sit with them. Don't be afraid to sit with them. Don't stuff them. Don't push them away. Sit with them, reflect. Something that I ask myself a lot is, how does this serve me, and how can I use this or whatever's going on to serve others? Because we're here essentially, we're humans, we were made to connect. Like, I want to be here on this earth, I'm sure like many of you, and I want to give a gift. I want to do something that's bigger than myself, and I want to ultimately serve people around me. That's the bigger idea, the bigger message here. And so reflecting and going off in that direction, intention for me came from sitting with myself, making that space and being like, why am I working out so much? And it came from fear. A lot of times we do things that we think we should be doing because that's what he said to do, or that's what the parents are doing, or that's what my son, daughter, that's what their friends are doing. But we don't actually sit with ourselves and think, wait a second, is this something that I want to do? That's a big one. How often do you ask yourself, wait a second, do I want to do this? Number two, is this something that serves me? Is this something that serves other people in the long run? How am I going to grow from this? Or like, how does this sit with me? And those kinds of questions, reflecting on your day-to-day basis, your decision-making, what you have in your daily routine, something that you find yourself doing often, makes a huge impact in the people that we are. And so if you have an intention going forward that is uplifting you, it's uplifting everyone around you. Essentially, you might not realize it, but if you're uplifted, starts with us, it starts within, it starts inward, internal energy. It affects everyone around us in our circle without even us noticing, because our high frequency, our good energy lifts and pulls everyone else's up right along with us. It's just like attracts like. It's the law of attraction here. That's just how it works. It's how energy in the universe is constructed. And so sitting with that thought, those thoughts rather, you can find yourself being intentional. Being intentional with your decision making, being intentional with whatever game plan you have, because intention itself is an aim or a plan. What is your aim? What is your plan? And no, I'm not saying you have to have everything mapped out. I mean, I'm sitting here doing this podcast and I got my little sticky notes ready to rock and roll. There is nothing more that I love when it comes to like organization and my planners and my books and my computer and all of the things than this. This little $1, I don't know how much it costs now because I'm in Europe, and in Europe, these are pretty cheap still, I think. But I don't know how much this costs. These things saved my life. I got checklists everywhere. But you know what I realized? Are my checklists helping me stay in alignment, or are my checklists driving me crazy? Which therefore, this is not an intentional thing. I don't want to drive myself crazy. Who wants to drive themselves crazy? I don't think any of us here want to drive ourselves crazy. We want to do things. We want to be productive. We want to grow. We want to expand. We want to try new things. Progression. So use your checklists, but don't let your checklists use you. And so when you're intention setting, what you want to do is take time, make that space to reflect, ask yourself those questions, and go ahead making your decisions based on how intentional is this decision that I'm making? What can I get out of it? What can I give to it? Who am I being in it? That's the most important part. Who am I being? Be, do, have. Not the other way around. And I'm going to get into more of that on the next episode because that's a whole topic itself. But really start with being. And if you start with being, that means you're starting with your internal energy, your mindset, your perspective, the thoughts that play in your head. You know, we have like 50,000 conversations with ourselves in our heads every single day. No extreme there. Seriously, no cap. And so being intentional is connection with yourself. If you're not connected to yourself, how can you expect to make good decisions or make intentional decisions? Because it doesn't have to be good or bad. Or we're not looking at this as positive, negative. It doesn't make me better or worse. It doesn't make you better or worse either, but it's just intentional because it serves a purpose, it's an aim, it's part of your plan. And something that I always say is that it's part of the journey. And so where does this fit into your journey? That's my question. Where does this fit into your journey? And if you find yourself thinking, Lacey, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm doing it because, you know, this person and that, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. And it's not about hurting anyone's feelings or letting anyone down, because if you feel like you're letting other people down, it's actually yourself. It's a direct reflection on yourself. So you can sit with that and do whatever you want with it, but just think that your actions, your reactions, what you say to others actually is towards yourself in most cases, not always, but in most cases it comes back to us, it comes back to ourselves. And that's a really interesting topic in itself. So move with intention for me came from stopping the punishment of movement and looking at it as a gift. Because movement is a gift. If you are not into movement, I encourage you to find something, whether it's walking, whether it's bike riding, whether it's dancing, stretching, yoga, cycling, skipping down the street, hula hooping for 5 minutes in your living room. Do some form of movement, and I promise you, if it's the kind of movement that your body is craving, you're gonna get so much more out of it than anything appearance-wise. It's not about burning the fat. It's not about losing weight. Who cares what the number on the scale says? It does not define you, and it does not define me. The number on the scale does not define you, and it does not define me at all. Never. And it never will, because it's just a number. What matters is your health. What matters is your state of being. What matters is your energy, your perspective, your mindset, your mentality. One of my favorite of all time instructors, Kaisa, from Kaisa Fit, she owns Just Move. She said, health is not a look. Health is not a feeling. Oh, shit. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I butchered that. Health is not a look, it's a feeling. One of my favorite instructors, Kaisa, she said, health is not a look, it's a feeling. She wrote that all over some t-shirts. You know I bought one of those right away. That is so simple, so basic, so common sense that it just goes over so many of our heads. It went over my head for years. I thought, I'm not healthy until I look like this, like that, like this, like that. Magazines, Instagram, social media, you name it, the TV model, Victoria's Secret. I don't look like her. I must not be doing something right. How can I get that way? Number on the scale, work out till I'm thin, gotta get that thigh gap. There's just so many things that run through our minds. But if we take a second to stop all of the chatter, focus on our intention, we can get more realistic and we can be more loving and accepting. And so for me, move with intention came when I finally stopped the grind, asked myself what I wanted to accomplish, and what I wanted to accomplish was health. I know that when I get older, I still want to be doing all the things that my grandmother is doing, because my grandmother is one of my biggest role models when it comes to her health journey, when it comes to her movement journey. She is 77 years old and she walks 3 miles minimum every single day. She is active as hell and she looks great, but it comes because she's consistent with herself. It comes because she is loving to the process, to the journey. And I think that's one of the most important things, is that if we can be consistent, we can enjoy the movement that we give our body. We'll get so much more out of it. And I want to grow up one day. I say grow up, but I'm an adult over here, but I want to grow up one day and I want to be able to reach the top of the cupboard, and I want to be able to be on the floor and play with my kids that I hopefully have one day, and their grandkids, or my grandkids and their kids, and who knows, generation after generation that I might be around if I take care of myself right now. And so Move with Intention for me started off physical, and I'm seeing within the last year, at least within the last year, if not more, the progression to where physical connects with mental, and mindset overpowers and triumphs absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. And so Move with Intention for me now at this very moment, and this could also evolve and this could also progress, is being intentional, having that connection, that interconnected, deep, personal, meaningful connection with ourselves, our bodies, our spirits, our hearts, our minds, our energy, and knowing what it is we want for ourselves. What is our vision for ourselves, and who do we have to become in order to get there? And if movement is part of that journey for you, which I hope it is, and I hope that you can find a form of movement that gives you gratitude and makes you appreciate your body, because our bodies are gifts. Our bodies, our feet, the ability to move is a gift. It's a gift every single day that we are on this earth. And if you can't move, if it was taken away from you, you would understand completely the gift that you had, but you won't know it until it's gone. And so whatever type of movement you're able to get in, whatever type of movement you're able to participate in, be thankful for that movement. Don't beat your body up. Don't be hard on yourself. Do the movement. If it's 4 minutes, if it's 1 minute, if it's 2 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, enjoy that movement. Say thank you, body. Give yourself some love. Show yourself some appreciation and give it grace. Move on with your day. Don't obsess over it. Don't get stuck on it. Don't stuff it, push it down, beat yourself up, criticize yourself, because you're so much more than what your body is. Your body does not define you. Your body does not define you. And so Move with Intention is a special, special, special thing for me. Very, very special, and I'm really excited to be here and sharing it with all of you. I hope that some of this resonated to you, and if it did, if you want to give me a like, if you want to share below, I would love to hear commentary from you. I want to connect with you. The whole point of getting on social media, getting this podcast up and going, is to connect, is to expand, and if we can do that together, then that's going to be such a special part of my journey, and we're going to make it fun. My intention here is to always make things fun, even the hard conversations that we have to have, and I say have to, it's like we get to have those hard, vulnerable conversations that open us up and expand our lives, our energy, our love. We're gonna make it fun. We're gonna make it enjoyable. No matter the ups and downs that we go through, it's always in our control. And I'm so excited to be here doing this with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode on intention and a little bit about Move with Intention. And I can't wait to connect with you guys soon.